Hey, this is Shiley and you're watching Eat Breathe Books. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Hope everything's going well, and I hope that you're doing well in book-tube-a-thon so far if you're participating. If you're not participating, I hope you're enjoying whatever book you're reading, if you're reading right now. And today I'm coming at you with the Intimidating Tbr book tag, and I'm really excited to do this. I'm not sure if I was ever tagged in it. If someone did tag me, I'm so sorry. Thanks. And big credit to the person who started this. I've heard that the original video is now privated, so I don't know how I could link it down below, but if I can in any way, then of course I will. Anyway, we've got a couple questions here today. I'm going to answer them for you, so let's get started. The first question asks to pick a book that's been on your TBR that you started but you never actually finished, and that book is Love and Other Perishable Items, and this is by Laura Buzo. I did not finish this, as the question asks. I could have easily finished it. It's very short. I read about half of this, like I want to say maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was all right. And I don't know, I never DNF, like do not finish books. I always finish them, but I guess I just got distracted by other books that were interesting me more, and I kind of put it down. This book follows a guy named Chris, who I believe is like 22 or something, and he forms this like interesting relationship with a 15-year-old girl who has a crush on him, and they both work at a supermarket together. So I was like, all right, like an awkward like story about this like little freshie who likes this college guy, like it's gonna be cute, whatever, but nothing was really happening. It was so flat from where I was, so I never finished it. Maybe one day I will read it again. I don't know. The next question asks to pick a book that you really want to read, but you just haven't had the time, and I could give you a lot of answers for this, but I'm gonna go with The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This is the first book in a trilogy about an alien apocalypse. Basically, these aliens come down to Earth, I believe, and they send torture towards the humans, and I guess animals, in forms of waves of torture, and so this is about the fifth wave. I don't know what that form of torture is. I don't know. But I've heard really good things about this trilogy, especially the first book. The film recently came out. It starred Chloe Moretz, and I really want to see it, which is another reason why I just really want to read this book. I just have not gotten around to it. It is a big book. Tall hardcovers really intimidate me for some reason, so I just haven't gotten to it yet. The next question asks to pick a book that is a sequel that you haven't read yet, and I'm going with a third book in a trilogy. That's Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is, like I said, the last book in the Shatter Me trilogy, and I love this trilogy so far. I read the first two books and the two novellas. There's a novella that goes in between each book, and I absolutely love them. There is so much incredible writing, character development, surprises, plot twists, dynamics, just all this great jazz. Tahereh is a really talented writer. I cannot give you a good excuse for why I haven't read this, other than the fact that I really don't like reading last books in series or watching finales, series finales of TV shows, things like that. I just don't like when things come to an end, because then I know I can't get any more of the story other than what's in my head, I guess. But you know, as John Green says, stories stop existing when the last page is turned. And I'm curious actually to know, do you guys agree with that? Do you think stories stop existing when you finish reading? Anyway, I'm getting off track. Yeah, I have not read this yet, and I honestly really should. So hopefully I'll read it this summer, we'll see. The next question asks to pick a book that I haven't read yet because it's new, and this is a fairly new release. It's The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Actually, it's pretty dang new. And I got my Target collector's edition. But yeah, I need to take these stickers off. Anyway, this is a book about a girl who's the daughter of a politician, and some scandal arises, and so that completely changes her summer, and she gets a job as a dog walker, and I'm sure there's romance in here, and I'm excited to read this. I've read two of Morgan Matson's books so far. I've read Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, which I liked, and then Since You've Been Gone, which I loved, and so yeah, I think she's a really good author. Her books are definitely really nice to read, especially in the summertime, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next question asks to pick a book where you haven't read it yet because you didn't like a different work by the same author, and I'm going to talk about the author Sarah Zarr. I have read this book, Sweethearts. I first read her book Story of a Girl some years back, didn't like it. I read Sweethearts, didn't like it. The thing about Sarah Zarr is that she always has such interesting, gripping, captivating premises to her stories, and they always fall flat for me. They're anticlimactic. Not much happens. Nothing I enjoy very much. I don't know. It's pretty sad. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to talk about this book, Sweethearts. This is about a girl named Jennifer who, when she was younger, she didn't like the way she looked. She was very bullied for it, and she had one friend, and his name was Cameron. Cameron disappeared, and it's years later. Jennifer's in high school now. She's reinvented herself. She's the it girl, kind of, and Cameron comes back. Doesn't that sound so compelling to you? Well, in my opinion, the execution was poor. And I'm sorry, it wasn't my cup of tea. And so what I'm trying to say is, to answer the question, is that I would love to read another Sarah Zarr book. Unfortunately, I'm just scared that I'll feel the same way as I have about some of her other books. But if you have a Sarah Zarr book that you've read, if you know of one that you really, really enjoyed and you think I would too, then please let me know, because I would love to give her another try. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure plenty of people are a really, really big fan of her work. It just, for some reason, those 2 books fell flat for me, but it does not mean that she's not talented or that she doesn't have other books that I wouldn't love. The next question asks you to pick a book on your TBR that you love to read, but you're just not in the mood, and my answer is going to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, even the whole series so far that's out. This is a story about a girl assassin, and I've heard that there are really fabulous characters and girl power and lovely story and plot lines in here, and I am really excited to read the series. However, I'm not in the mood for high fantasy right now. I know that even if I do pick this up, when will I pick up the other books? I don't want to forget stuff. I'd rather just save this for when I'm really, really in the mood to read this book and be really, really invested in it, because right now I'm just into reading some contemporaries or shorter books for the most part. So yeah, I hope I do get to this by the end of 2016. The next question asks to pick a book that you really want to read, but you haven't yet because it's huge. And I'm gonna go with The Host by Stephenie Meyer, which is super overdue for me to read because I've been a Stephenie Meyer fan since the 6th grade, which was a while ago, and I have not picked up this book yet. I saw the film right a little bit before it came out. I went to a screening. I absolutely loved it. I think that the writer and director of the film as well, Andrew Niccol, is incredibly talented. He's the guy who wrote and directed Gattaca, which is one of the best sci-fi films I've ever seen. Watch it if you haven't. But anyway, yeah, I absolutely love The Host. I know I'm gonna love the book. It's just huge. Like I said, tall hardcovers intimidate me, and plus the book itself is like, I don't know, over 600 pages. So I do want to read this. The next question asks to pick a book that you bought and should have checked the reviews for, because it turns out they're not very good. And this is a sort of skewed answer. I'm gonna go with After We Fell by Anna Todd. This book is huge. How many pages is this? This is like, yeah, this is over 800 pages. I read the first book and I actually really liked it, besides some creepy content in there. But I liked it for the most part. And the second book I really do not like. It just really went downhill from there. There were a lot of issues I had with these stories. If you've read them, tell me if you agree. But I also know there are a lot of fans of it. And after reading the second book, I was in Barnes & Noble one time, and you know they have like bargain deals on some of their books, and even on bestsellers. So I saw this for like $6, $7, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll take it. Maybe one day I'll feel like reading it. But honestly, there's a reason why me and other people are not enjoying the series. It's problematic. And so I don't know if I'll ever get to this. Like, I'm not even, actually for this, I'm not even worried about the size. I can fly through this if I want to, but this book, it really promotes a lot of things. If you guys want, I'll do some kind of book talk explaining the pros and cons of reading this series, because I think maybe that would benefit some people who are considering reading this but don't know if it's worth the time. The next question asks to pick a book that you really want to read but you're just scared to, the one that intimidates you the most. And I'm gonna go with Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. Yeah, I know this is a library copy, so technically I don't own it. It's not sitting on one of my shelves, but you know I'll be buying this soon, hopefully. And it's on my TBR, to be read. And I really, really want to read this because the first 2 books are some of my favorite books I've ever read. I know I'm going to be a huge fan of the books to come, but I know if I read this book, then I'll only have The Raven King left. And as I said before, I don't like finishing off series, and I'm pushing it off. And that's why I'm intimidated to read this. And I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen in here, you know, and but I really, really do want to read this. I really, really do. And hopefully I will by the time summer's over. I really hope so. At least this one, if I don't read The Raven King. There you have it. That was my Intimidating TBR book tag response. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like this video, please. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Share this with your friends if you want. And click over here to see my last video, and click down here to see my short film called Ginny. I worked really hard on it. It was really a lot of fun to do. I wrote, directed, acted in it, edited it. It was so much fun. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Good luck in book-tube-a-thon again if you're participating, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!